Welcome back, viewers. This is Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about school and learning. We've come from the long holiday and our guest here was helping us to understand the difference between 844 curriculum and the CBC curriculum. The children are eager to learn, to explore, and that they are not limited to just being taught, but also to go out of their way and doing their own research. So, Teacher Martin, with this CBC system and not limiting our students into just teaching them the normal theory, what would you say are the benefits for both the students and also the teachers?
Okay. The benefits of both, the benefits that come to both. I'll start with the learner side. You realize that as lessons are taking place, it's not what initially used to be there, what we used to refer to as a teacher-centered learning situation. With this one, it is learner-centered. It's the learners who are supposed to do. It's the learners that are supposed to discover. It is the learners that are supposed to come up with that particular thing that I'm intending to deliver to them. I'll go in class, I'll write the strand, the sub-strand, what I'm intending to deliver within that lesson. I'll introduce my KIQs. I will now let the learners discover, come up with ideas pertaining what I'm intending to do. I'll only chip in by giving a brief explanation of what is supposed to be achieved, or help them realize that they are either getting lost or they are on the right path. You let them communicate and collaborate, which also helps these learners boost their self-efficacy. There is a learner who maybe is a time taker. There is that learner who gets or grasps things very fast. So if you put those two and they come up with ideas, the idea of this time taker is supposed to help the idea of that learner who is a fast taker or fast learner in class. The time taker discovers that if I give an idea to this learner that is being seen as a fast learner in class, and actually it helped our group achieve, that learner feels boosted. The morale of that child is taken to another level. Unlike the other side where it is performance, performance, performance. The mark list is out at the end of the assessment. There is that top learner, there is that learner who is at the bottom, at the bottom of the class. Sometimes this learner may even develop some sense of phobia. They'll not want to come to school. Truancy now chips in that learner. But on our other side, there is this particular learner. We don't have a specific learner who is best at performing a certain activity, because there is this learner who will help in, it's a practical. The learner who we think is a time taker, when it comes to practicals, the thinking capability is different. So it's actually helping our learners in terms of self-efficacy and carrying out whatever they're supposed to carry out in the best way possible. Yeah.
With that being the benefits that you've mentioned about the slow learner and the fast learner working together as a team.
Yes.
And bringing them and synchronizing them together to have team, should I call it team building or team players in the groupings that you have grouped them. Now with no grading, does it help now for this top student or this fast learner not looking down onto this slow learner? And you teachers coming in, how now do you tell this fast learner that there is no grading, but now we are only going with excellence and exceeding excellency, and this young one, of course, with this slow learner, is a boost to the student.
Yes.
Because now he or she is not exposed to maybe being looked down upon to. The high expectation from the parent sides or for the community, or even if you're having siblings being shunned and being told, why can't you perform like these other students? But now synchronizing them together. For this low one, I understand the morale is boosted. What about this first learner? How now do you talk to them to understand that it's not the normal grading? We are not here to look on how bright you're shining as you yourself, but how bright you're shining as a group.
As far as grading is concerned, I might say grading is there, only that it is not put in form of a mark. But this exceeding expectation is actually leveled up in terms of some digits. That is 1, which is below, 2, approaching, 3, meeting, and the highest one is 4, which is exceeding. So before you come up with that rubric, of course you'll have taken your learner through a certain assessment, marking is done, and then now there is that part of grading, so that now, assuming a paper was out of 20, this learner will be given a mark somewhere. Then that mark is the one that will help us come up with that rubric. So this rubric is also helping these learners because they all want either to meet or exceed, which happens to be the highest. So you get that they will also put their best foot forward in anything they are doing because they don't want to approach, they don't want to be below expectations. So there is that leveling, there is that grading now in terms of rubrics, and it is actually helping these learners also bring up a sense of competition. They all want to exceed. As I was issuing out the slips to the parents who are coming in with the learners, all learners were expecting to exceed. So when they look at the slip and they discover that in one of the learning areas, they either met expectations or they approached, they feel like they didn't give their best. So there is grading that is actually taking place, only that it is not publicized. It's not brought out like the way the 844 system is doing it. In terms of the mark, which is highest and lowest, there is a learner with 150 to 500, they feel kind of demotivated. But in this one, it's levelized. It's not too high, it's not too low, but making the learners feel they've done something.
So, Mr. Martin, I wanted to ask, when you say that with this new CBC, that you don't have grading as per se, how then does a parent track down the progress of the student?
From our school, we have employed or we have started working with a platform. That assessment is uploaded on Muzizi. It's an online platform where we just record the progress of the learner on a daily basis. And then at the end of the term, we release the reports to the parents. So they will be able to get into the portal, receive those downloads, and then look at the progress of the learner right from the beginning of the term to where the term is. At one point, you have to do it, not necessarily at the end of the term. At one point, you have to do it in a fortnight. So after those 2 weeks, that parent will notice that there is a 2 appearing in a certain learning area. So they'll sit down with the child, they will talk about that learning area, and the learner now starts focusing, starts thinking of how to improve the 2 to a 3. And once the parent notices that the 2 is now coming into a 3 or even a 4, they actually now know that my student, my learner is getting to focus in the right track. So we use Muzizi to record the progress of our learners, and then we send it to our parents. Now that report cards and other documents that were sent earlier on to parents show that the learner is from this level to another level. But on our side, Muzizi is helping us, and every parent has the login details, so they can log into the portal and access the details of what the learner is doing in school. Yes.
So when you talk about this Muzizi, is it an application or is it a website whereby you say that your parents have access on the portal and can stream in and see the information that they have about their children? How do they go? No, when I say about, how do they go about it? And with this portal, is it a portal? Is it an application? And the other question that comes in, is it only in Mountain View, your school, or is it also in other schools that they are using this?
It is a website. It is both a website and there is an application that they have also come up with. So parents will download the application in their phones, and then the school is going to release logging details that you use the admission number of the learner. You get into the site, and then you can now peruse and see the details that the school has released to you as a parent individually. When we talk of whether the other schools have it, now we are using it now as a school on our end, and I believe there are other schools, because when those guys came to our school, they said that 1 or 2 other schools are using it. So it's not just within our school, it's something that has been used out there by the other schools. Yes, so
Also,
the parent...
it's not a government-based thing.
It's not a government-based thing, but it is something we felt it's good and it's going to help us release the information we have on our end pertaining the child, and then the parent gets in touch with the school as often as possible.
Okay, that is so interesting. So another question I would want to put to you is, what are the long-term goals that the parents and the students should expect from this CBC curriculum?
The long-term goals that are going to come up is, in future, we shall have more responsible citizens. We shall have more responsible people, because at that time, maybe in 5 or 10 years' time, we shall have released the first cohort to the society. We shall get to feel the impact. We shall see the difference, because this is a learner who is actually depending on their selves to perform so many things, unlike what we have currently. We might even have a society that is more morally upright than the society that there's this generation that is there and things are not coming out so well. But these are learners who are critical thinkers, because there is a core competency referred to as critical thinking. They are thinking. They know that this path that I'm following might not take me to the destination I want. So they will think, they turn around. If it's a place where they have messed up, they take a U-turn immediately and focus on their goals, focus on the achievements they want to achieve later on in life. So later on in future, we shall have a better society than what we have at the moment.
Wow. We shall have a better society. That is the long-term goals that we are looking up to see in the near future with our CBC students, with this new curriculum that is taking place and that we are embracing as a society at large. Viewers, I hope you're learning as much as I am about this CBC new system curriculum and how to embrace it and love it together with our students. Continue sending in your comments, your question across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.